Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, one of the things that I have, I've really through all my years of fishing, I've really sort of contemplated on how should I make a lure run. In other words, you buy something to use to fool a fish into striking. In some cases, you just use live bait. But if you're using a lure, that lure is designed to fool the fish. But how do you use it? Some lures you throw out and you want to reel straight back. If you're like me, I'm constantly moving the rod tip because I think is that lure is going through the water. I want to make it look like it's darting or dashing or trying to get away or is wounded or something. Maybe that isn't the best approach for that time of day or in that particular situation of water. And that's why let's just take soft plastic baits. You'll find some with a straight tail. They aren't going to wiggle as much in the water, but maybe that is better in certain circumstances. You'll find other baits with a paddle tail or a curly tail. And each one of these is going to give a different look in the water. And I think what really is at stake here is understanding, if it's possible for us to do, what a predator fish, like the bass that we're going after, the trout or the walleye or the northern pike, what are they looking at? What is going to look like something they can't resist if they're contemplating whether they want to burn the energy to try to get something to eat? And I think this is a really important thing. Even taking spoons, when you're fishing with spoons, some of them will wobble more than others. Some of them will just make a slight wiggle. Some of them are designed to move slowly, have a slow rotation as they're coming through the water. Others will go back and forth very rapidly. And it's all to try to imitate something that will make the fish strike. So I think it's really important when you're contemplating fishing or using any kind of lure as what you want it to do in the water. I can be more specific here. So many times when I'm fishing with my friends, we have a different technique of reeling our lures in. And like I said, I just naturally, I don't know if it comes from all the years of my life in doing the same thing, but I naturally tend to move the rod as I'm reeling in. I want that lure to move erratically. There have been times when I've been with my buddies and they've been using the same lure and they're getting more strikes than me because they're not doing that. It's the same thing with fly fishing in a pond where we're with sinking fly lines and we're using something like a woolly bugger or something and we're bringing it back through the water. A lot of times just letting your rod not move at all is more successful or a better approach than darting it back and forth like I do. But I think it's something that you have to experiment with and you have to keep it in your mind as you're fishing is how do you want to make that lure work in the water? You may be right, you might be wrong, but if you experiment, you might find the right way. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.